Ready?
Dum, 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 da, da, dum, 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 da, 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 whoa.
I think we need to know the words first, but Speed Game Podcast.
Number 51?
51.
Wow.
51.
And we want to thank our guest, Shiem.
Hey.
Appreciate you for coming on.
No problem, man.
Hit me up. He
Appreciate
said, Mike, you got to get me on there. No
Right.
problem.
No problem.
Got to get them schedules aligned up, baby.
1 week, though. 1 week and we in here. We out here, man. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Out here in North Little Rock, Argenta.
District, yeah.
Talk
Pretty
about
outside.
fellas. Yeah.
You know, actions
Weather
speak
getting
louder than
better out
words.
there.
He said he wanted to be on. He's on.
And on.
Yeah.
And make it happen. Be a man
sure.
work and be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So, what's your name? How do you pronounce your name?
Shiem.
Shiem.
Shiem. The H is silent. Thanks, Mom, for that.
So
Appreciate it.
if you're from Southwest Little Rock, don't say Shiem. That's what I was doing. Shiem.
Shiem Swift.
Use your phonics. Use your phonics.
Right.
We'll spell it out for you.
Right. But then they'll still get it wrong because the H.
Yeah, it's like,
Thanks again, Mom.
So when we're talking to the youth, we got this acronym we use called Skill Set, Education, Communication, Mindset.
Okay.
How big you think that is when you first stepping into the game?
Skill set, education.
Communication, mindset.
Skill set is really big on my list.
That's why it's the first on there.
Right. Skill set. When I was growing up, we had this thing called the gods would teach us Nation of Gods and Nations.
Right.
It was
Are you good?
5%ers.
You good?
Knowledge itself. Just
Yes.
in the black community was big around,
Oh, yeah.
the natural
For
people.
sure.
And knowing yourself.
Right.
Like say know thyself, whether being honest, really, really honest with going, what are my weaknesses? What are my strengths? And then really working with those. A lot of times we work with what society says
Right.
that we should gain.
Right.
For instance, you might have a child that just because I hate it when the big kid or the tall kid, and they go, this is my little basketball player.
Oh.
This is my, and the kid wants to be a comic book writer or something, but they're already, pre-positioned to be that because of what it is. And we never look at the skill set. They might be struggling in math, but great in art.
Right.
And so what we do is we drop the art class and build the math class.
Right.
And maybe he's naturally a Picasso.
Good at art. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it
knowing your
makes him
skills.
have negative feelings about school now.
Eventually, yeah.
Right.
And that kind of happened to me in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And even now, I tell kids now, it's so much stuff out there now that wasn't out when we was younger. I mean, a Mac they could do like Adobe now.
Right.
Adobe Cloud wasn't even out when we was young.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You got Mac.
You had an old Mac, the big square one. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So,
right.
yeah, and I think a lot of older people didn't understand that skill set was coming down the pike.
Right.
I know a lot of family, being from Sweet Home, a lot of them worked there, like Granny Mountain Quarry and stuff like that. It's like, you should go work there. No, I'm gonna work on computers. What?
Right,
Computers?
right,
What?
right.
Yeah.
And see, my parents were the opposite. They saw computers as being the next thing.
Oh, nice.
So they pushed me into computers because I could hook up a Nintendo.
Right.
Like I would go, and they were amazed by that.
Right.
So they bought they bought a Hewlett Packard.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Like I learned so much, and that was like the first internet with the dial-up. And
Right. I remember that.
The minutes.
Excuse me, free subscription.
Yeah.
And get another one and all of that. And I'm blessed
sure.
to be able to have one early. But because they saw the future, which they were correct, tech is big right now. But
Right.
I was into journalism. I wanted to be a writer.
Oh, nice.
And so, but through that, I was, kind of pushed into computers and never really just took for it. And then it did kind of turn me off on school just a little bit because my interest wasn't, I wasn't able to pick my interest. But,
Right. Exactly. I think everybody kind of deal with that. I know for me, when in high school, definitely it's just like you want me to do all this English class and stuff, but it's kind of boring. Like,
Right.
what do I do
right,
after that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think I was telling my wife that I want to make a center eventually to where kids should come to and learn that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like, they can come learn about Adobe Cloud,
Right.
how to use a Mac. Like you just have like a studio set. Like you want to learn how to make content, you can learn that.
Right.
Because a lot of kids, when they get out of school, you can play the game while you're at school. You can be the model student, but when you're at home, you don't have the same environment to do other stuff.
Push you, right.
You know what I'm saying? It's too easy to get into stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So like I'm saying, your skill set is,
for sure.
knowing that I'm good at this and let me push more a little bit in that and not over here. I told my son, don't go over there. If you're the smart guy, don't go stand with the bullies.
Right.
Because there might be your friends, but when it's time to bully, when it's time to the rough stuff go on, You're a low man.
Yeah, exactly.
Find your tribe.
Their expertise. You know what I mean? You're
a novice.
Yeah, and you are messing around in their arena.
Right.
You got to put in that work.
And another thing you said, people do things more freely if it's their interest. Right. Like I know people don't like reading science books, math books, but they'll read a romance novel cover to cover, like in a week. You know what I mean? That's 1,000 pages. You bros through. Right. You know what I mean? So you gotta kind of do that with your kids or as an adult too. Right. Like you don't see what you want to do. You more you're more self-motivated when you're doing what you want. Right. You know what I mean? So you got to sprinkle in there. Like I don't like reading. I'm not a good reader, but you read the other book, no problem.
Very well. So
you know what I mean? So
Reed, I also want to say like your weaknesses too. And I have a harsh saying that I got a lot of sayings. Yeah. But sometimes that low self-esteem, you think it's low self-esteem, you might be right. You might be saying, I'm horrible at this. Yeah. And you get down, don't take the emotion, be stoic about it. Don't take the emotional aspect of it. Right, exactly. But go, maybe I am horrible. If I had a companies that are publicly traded put out a prospectus every year. Yeah. And they say what they're doing good, where their losses are. If you don't take account to what your losses and what your gains are and be honest, totally honest about it. Right. You can't grow. You can't fix the things that are wrong, Yes, sir. So,
Yeah, man.
So that may not be low self-esteem. It's just accurate assessment of what's actually going on. Like, you know what I mean? I think I'm fat. Well, you got low self-esteem. No, I actually fat. I got 30 extra pounds in the midsection that I need to lose. You know what I mean? So just don't be too down on yourself and emotional. Like, that it's something you need to work on.
Then we got to tell you, too, you got to be realistic when you know your skill sets. Make sure these skill sets don't put you in the pen, too. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Exactly.
Hey, we know you can shoot a gun. We're not saying you can't shoot a gun, but go be a competitive shooter, though.
Right.
Exactly. Don't shoot at people and get unlawful discharge. Right. What is it? Firearm that they give you for each bullet or something like that.
And then maybe give them access to a gun range at a young age.
Exactly.
Boxing is big in our community. There's a lot of boxing gyms in the community. There's a lot of dangerous things, access to things. Had Serena and Venus having a tennis court in their area. Mike Tyson having the gyms around his area. He will fight, or he had an issue at one point with his pigeons and all that. But if they didn't have that outlet or that place to hone those skills, so we want to put it there for them and go. I'm not interested. They're not interested in all that. But that one kid who likes a comic book shop, there's a comic book shop in his neighborhood.
So before we get into the stuff that you do, because you got a lot of stuff you got going on, but if we could go back and talk like Shaheem now, Saheem. I'm sorry.
Saheem.
We got
Saheem. Saheem. Okay.
We practice this.
If we could be like Kane the Conqueror and go back and talk to Saheem at 17, what would you tell him?
That's a big question to just put on somebody, right?
Well, it is because
that's why it's called a thinking game, right?
At this, right. It's a tough one. What I would tell him is to maybe listen more to
I definitely agree
to
with
the
that.
right opinions, and don't be afraid to grow. At that age, I was so stuck on my own personality.
I was too.
But we're growing our personality at that time. So I was manifesting who I was going to become. So I don't regret it. No. But there are some things that I didn't accomplish or do because of my personal identity of who I thought that I wanted to be. And no, that's not my lane type of thing.
And like, it's all about efficiency. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you can go talk to yourself, be more efficient. Right. Because remember, we was in our 20 with the La Quinta, right? People probably don't even know that, but I remember you used to read stocks. You used to read books about stocks. You was at the front desk.
Stocks back then.
Like, what book you read? But, man, I didn't have a clue on what
that's where you worked at La Quinta. I didn't remember that at all.
You didn't?
No.
When you worked there?
No.
Because I took you home one day.
I don't remember. I now remember you driving the shuttle, but yeah.
I took you home one day in the studio.
Good to see you again. Good to see you. But yeah, I do remember. Yeah,
it was the 20s and not 20s, mid-20s. And
right on Broadway.
I didn't have a plan, nothing, man. I was just trying to make it. Right. But I would definitely go back and tell myself, you got to be smarter.
Yeah, man. I would take that time and
build a strategy. We don't know sit down till you get it.
Right, right.
So we're so used to moving around. When you get that freedom, you get in your 20s, so used to just doing what you want to do, moving around, but you never sit down and think, what am I doing, though? Why am I moving around? You know what I'm saying?
And when you're young, and like when you're younger, you always think about, like for me, you think about the advanced stuff. You know what I mean? The stocks. You know what I mean? Yep. Being that elite person. In the beginning, you got to get those basic stuff, right? You know what I mean? Just the regular classes, just your degree. Just get your associate's, bachelor's, that regular stuff. You know what I mean? Because that's the foundation. Right. We're always talking about, like, what we going to add on, what we going to do to life, what we going to invent. Right. But those basic things, being efficient on those things is very important.
It's very important.
So what was the first base for you? Like, when you really started getting that momentum going for you? Because I know you in a lot of stuff. You got a timeline almost.
I've had a lot of momentums and slow periods.
Yeah,
You know,
like a roller coaster almost.
Seasons, yeah, man. Yeah. Upswings and downswings.
I mean, when you really start getting out of the job more into like stuff that you wanted to do.
I've always been that person. Like my whole life. When I was 16, I think, I remember I wanted to rap back then. So I remember calling Vino's, me and my friend Marcos Clark, and I think it was Malik. We rented out Vino's to do a rap battle. Okay. And I had my friend Marcos, he drew the cover for the flyers. My mom worked at the school district. Okay. I went in there and I printed up all the flyers on the four-sided, cut them. Yeah. I would go to the mall and pass them out, then go to the top before making it rain and throw them. Wow. Nice. Because you would have to see them on the ground as you walked. And
nice. That's smart.
Right.
That's
and so
right there,
and then when I heard
the first pop-up. The pop-up ad.
Like, I heard so many rappers back in the day, and I wanted to rap, but then I heard one rapper one time, and I said, I would rather listen to his music than to my music. I'd rather make sure this guy makes it than for me to be in his way. So from that point on, I kind of took that route. I've always had a good idea and went for it. So it's always my parents did raise me to be a free thinker, right? And be intelligent, be wise, be understanding, kind, right? But always be true to yourself, for sure. And so by being bullheaded and not listening to a lot of people, I also cultivated my own.
Oh, for sure,
my own personality.
So it's good things and bad things about making this choice. Pros and cons. So like you saying, being a free thinker, you know what I mean? It's all these possibilities. You know, how do you narrow that down to what you want to do, what you want to pursue, which endeavors are worth your time?
So I looked at most of the things that I wanted to do or have seemingly involved money.
Oh, definitely.
But I was wrong.
You was wrong?
I was wrong. Because after high school, college, I realized. So we saw Puffy. I was a big Puffy fan. I liked his business acumen. Yeah. So, I would see them on the jet skis, and I see them on these boats and going to these fabulous islands and places.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Mace.
And I would see them do all these extravagant things and be on yachts and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I want to be on a yacht. So I'm going to go make millions of dollars to be on the yacht. And then after high school, a couple years later, some of my friends would come back, and I'm like, what are you doing? Well, I was interning down in Miami, and I was working at a yacht cleaning place. Right. And then I ended up in Europe working for the same company, and I clean yachts, and then he shows me a video, and he's on a yacht with his friends because they're free to him because he, and I go, oh, I had to think about how I was trained,
how to get what I want.
And what do I want? Do I want the money? Or do I want the feeling of a lot? So it's more so not what I want. How do I want to feel? How do I want to feel in 10 years? Where do I want? What place do I want to be? So do I want? Some things might have to have money, but it doesn't. I didn't want to dedicate myself, and still don't, to amassing $1 million and waste my time. I'm not that into economics and commerce. Couple million, 2, 3, I'd be all right. But that was.
So here's a question I asked both of y'all. Do you think there are a group of people that, when we talk about music, right, they listen to it and they think they don't know that that's not like total reality. It's probably reality to that person, but to the average person, like somebody living in North Little Rock, that may not be your reality. They get caught up in it. They thinking that's what they want to do. Like remember when Colors came out, everybody wanted to do right. Puffy came out, everybody
wanted to do that. Right.
Cash Money came out, now everybody putting rims on their cars. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to stunt now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then some people don't know the downside to stunting. Like you can stunt, but guess what? This is behind the scenes people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They gonna take you. They like, oh yeah, you want to stunt? Let me catch you slipping.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that happens sadly. It's way too much.
Or kids don't understand. You want to be Colors. You want to go to jail for 30 years of life.
Right.
Go ahead.
That comes.
You'll be wearing the orange colors.
Those colors come with 30 years. Right.
Yeah. So what y'all think about that? The music, like the influence. You have to be careful about that as a young person. Don't let it consume you where you think that's what you want to.
We watch Marvel Endgame, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like some of these rappers are characters and they presenting a lifestyle, telling a story.
For sure.
Or maybe they're rapping about a cautionary tale. You know what I mean? They sold drugs, you know what I mean? They got caught, you know what I mean? So it's real, but it's like a reality TV show. Some of it's real, and then some of it just really just like fake.
Some
like
people
you
think they
can't
don't know
have a Bentley in the hood, like, you know, working a job, or you can't sell drugs and get a Bentley and the police won't notice you. You know what I mean? That's a fantasy. That's not reality. You know.
I guess being able to decipher that. It's like some people not able to decipher that. You know, they look at that. That's what I want to do. You know?
I think what changed was our generation. We did have a lot of poets and people who might not have told, like, Pac went to what you call the school, like art school. Biggie's mom said, we didn't have a one-room shack. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But they did teach me some stuff that I didn't know from my household. That keeping it real has permeated to our children now. Now they are actually real dangerous people, and they are rapping. They're rapping now. Yeah.
And that's their truth now.
But they grew up listening, thinking that all of that was not just poetry. Right. But you got to decipher what's. But when we see DMX doing one thing on the songs, but he's on a big movie, we know that he lives in Hollywood somewhere. We know that this is. But now all the things are shot.
Stories, but DMX, boy, that dude.
Oh yeah,
boy,
he was
man,
wild.
Awesome,
he was wild. But Jay-Z's got a great line. He says, Scarface the movie did more than Scarface the rapper to me.
He did.
So that ain't to explain all that happened to me.
Right.
So it's the same thing. How many drug dealers got started because of Scarface?
Right. That's true.
Yeah, and it's that push it to the limit montage. Like,
right.
Oh my God.
They don't see the ending.
Right.
They don't see the ending.
Right.
You know what I mean? They just want to live that little, second. That's it.
Right. So, we have to decipher everything, not just the rappers.
You do.
Us.
Everything.
Sitting at this table.
Yes, sir.
Who's saying some BS here, who's not.
Right.
Have that discernment. Like I said, the one thing I want to give my kids is discernment.
Yes.
Discernment.
Yes.
So if I'm not around, you can try to pick the right relationship.
And use it in the right direction.
Correct.
Because in my 20s, I didn't know what discernment was, but was using it in the wrong direction. Right. Walk in the room. Yeah, you see a group of girls. Discernment was like, okay, duck, goose. I'm going after the goose because the goose is weaker.
Right.
And it's like, okay, wait a minute.
You were totally wrong.
Yeah, totally wrong. When you you think that using it as a skill,
right.
like a hunter, right? Like the lion. You can tell the weakest one.
But you know what? That's great. That's a great callback to what you were saying about your skill.
Yeah.
Now, in hindsight, we see the negative aspect of it, but you see it also. I had a skill.
You got to put it in the right direction.
I had a skill to pick
point it this way.
So now I know.
I'm getting interviewed by 5 people. I know it's one I need to talk about or relate to.
Right.
Them left. I got them. You know what I mean?
Right. Look at the music she's listening to. I talk about my kids all the time, but my daughter, we were at the DMV.
Right.
And we were sitting there bored, and I go, now, baby, see all those windows? Oh, yeah. I said, I'm looking at the person who's looking like they have the best day because I don't have my medical card to go, my insurance card to get what I'm getting.
Smart, yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out which one I'm thinking is in a good mood and what have. She goes, okay.
What you want?
And whether she got it or not, hopefully she'll remember that in the evening. Like,
you get that bad for what you want.
Right.
What you need? You ain't got your medical card, but you're going to have to go over there.
But then that's maybe sound like, well, hey, sister, come on now.
Exactly.
And then you might switch up how you, or, you might have a better time with that. Here's the thing. Older black women from waiting tables, I realize they just want to know that you're a man.
Right.
Like they're not going to take, not in the new way where women test people, but I'm saying they want to see that this is my nephew for real, and can he take my little? And you go, yes, ma'am, I'll go get that for you. Like, okay, baby, you still don't get no tip, but yet and still, you know, she knows that you haven't gone outside of our community, and she's still revered as the matriarch of our community, not just the household. So you would
that's game right there, y'all.
yeah. And then, you know.
Because I was sarcastic, man. It's like, and then when you got that sarcastic personality, it's like you got to get them
back.
I got to get them. Whether it's sophisticated or it's petty, I got to get you.
Hit them with a little pepper.
Yeah, they like to spar. Wake them up in the morning.
I used to be like that, man.
Like if you don't lay the table, like next time you come back to the table, lay them down, like, and you instead as a joke, instead of laying down what they asked for, lay down a stack and go, all right, I ain't coming back to this table no more. They're gonna laugh.
Oh,
and now you got
friends. Like, yeah, exactly.
Right. Like he got a backbone and he's.
Would you work at La Quinta, man? You pick up them little airline people. Oh my
God,
man, that was when I was in my highest sarcasm. Man, you get in trouble all the time. Did you say this to me?
Right.
Yeah, man. But yeah.
But we love.
But yeah, let's get into some of the stuff. Like, tell them some of the stuff you didn't. I know you didn't own some stuff, and
I had a couple restaurants called the Veg back in the day.
What got you into the restaurant business? Like, how did they even come about?
Everything is a long story with me.
Y'all
might want to wait.
God said, "Let there be light."
I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story now.
Hey, Ricky, what you tell us about that? So, it starts nowhere near where it's supposed to be.
I think that's what people need to hear, because they see you and they like, you know, kids need to see that, like, and you said discernment, right?
Right.
I'm a business owner and I keep telling kids hustle, get your educations, but you're not really telling them nothing.
Right.
You're just saying hustle, you know, work hard, you know what I mean? You want the really facts. How did you get that's the thing. That's the
I realized that most of the things that people wanted in life, they got. They might not have got it when they wanted it, but they walked up on it some kind of way. I seem to, everything I put effort into, I accomplished and got to the heights of it, whether it was good or bad.
Cool.
So then one day I'm watching a documentary. It was called like 10 questions to ask the Dalai Lama.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And they asked him about commerce. And that Dalai Lama he's kind of a newer age. And they said, well, what about money? People, you don't make money. You've pushed away worldly things, but what about people who have to make a living to eat?
Right.
And he's like, yes, people fly me in to do speakings and I eat that way and this and that. But he said, there's nothing wrong with making a living, but if you can, make a good living.
Right.
And so I said, I'm one of the people that is blessed to pick the livings that I wanted to make.
Yes.
So I said, let me find something positive. How can I get money and give back? So I called it conscious capitalism.
Okay.
Back then.
For sure.
And so so my soul will be a little cleaner and my pockets will be a little fatter.
Yeah.
So that's how I picked veganism, because I never been a hunter. It wasn't about the health for me.
Yeah.
I just never liked fishing and hunting and hurting animals or people. Like, to be my friend, you can't kick puppies. First rule, can't kick puppies. You can't be a jerk. I'm not saying that's probably hunters and stuff. I don't. I'm not. That's not my. It's just not my thing. Yeah. So I said, all right, let me find something that I feel like that I can make a buck in and do some good, because, you know, we always think that the capitalism or making a dollar has to be hurting somebody else just to make that.
Yeah,
buck.
exactly. That's the thing. Like dog eat dog world, you got to be the most savage thing to reach the top.
How long do you think you could be a vegan for? No meat at all. How long do you think you can do that? Like, how long do you think you can do that for, Jay? How long do you think you go?
Maybe a week.
A week.
I mean, because that's not my. You know, that's my.
I always think about the challenge, like how far. It's hard, man. How long?
I'm big on freedom.
The way I cook forever. The way I cook, you eat forever. You'll eat it forever.
No meat.
No meat at all. You'd be surprised how much non-meat.
So what did you flavor it with chicken grease or something?
How much soy is in the food that you eat? I mean, you've been eating.
I like.
You remember your mom coming to the home with that big white box of burgers?
Yeah.
And they was red and they had the little holes in them.
Yeah. That's
like 2% beef. 2%.
McDonald's probably 2% beef.
We came from
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, like things like that. I just pro-choice.
I believe the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I believe he has a book called Eat to Live.
Oh yeah, that's something Eat to Live. Yeah.
And we flavor our meat to taste like vegetables.
That's the weirdest thing
People
to me.
will eat a raw steak.
I put a lot of salt on my stuff, though.
Well, you will eat a raw steak and a well steak, but you won't eat none with no seasoning on it.
Yep.
People rarely eat anything without any seasoning.
Yeah, he's right. I make this point a lot.
So it's not necessary. I'm not saying people got to be vegans, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Because I'm a three-quarter vegan. I eat salad in a minute.
It's not totally necessary, but it's more so if you cared about that animal, to each his own. But
for sure,
another saying: put some paint where it ain't. And I heard that on like American Pimp or something.
Yeah,
put some paint where it ain't, right?
Yeah.
And I've always had a knack for seeing what the market didn't have and interjecting it. Arkansas, Little Rock,
it's
not great for that. It's not out of nothing.
Yeah.
So you could just look around and go to Dallas or go to New Jersey, New York, LA, and go, all right, gelato was popping in New York. Let me make gelato and bring it here first.
For sure.
That's a tip.
Yeah.
If you live in Arkansas, live in Little Rock, put some paint where it ain't. There ain't a lot of paint before somebody else does. So you can paint art gallery. I don't care if it's music. I don't care what it is. Here is a great place to build.
Right.
And it is. That opportunity. When people say there's no opportunity here, the opportunity
is the opportunity right there.
In the lack of opportunity.
You know what I mean? Be the first.
Right,
you can do that. Like, you can complain about nothing to do here, or you can make the something to do here.
Yeah,
you know what I
sure.
mean? You can be there.
Right.
Those big cities, you can't, because everything has been established.
Right.
More stuff to do, more competition. Right. You know.
So how long? So that's why you. How long did it take to jump off when you open the V? That's what people understand. Like when you first start a business to when you break even and everything.
I was breaking even.
You know, like you start, then they say like the different stages of running the business.
I had the idea. Me and my friend, we started a business. Me and my friend Jamel Denham.
Okay, cool.
We had a good ass vegan cookie company.
Yeah.
That's part of the name. I know.
You good.
That's the name of the brand.
Yeah.
But that's what it was.
Let it slide.
He made me.
So this is the start of the first restaurant. Right. And what was it called?
The Veg LLC. And he made these cookies that were delicious. He was vegan for years.
Oh, nice.
And normally he eat Brussels sprouts. And I've never had a better cookie in my life when it's made.
Brussels sprout cookies?
No, he just make Brussels sprouts.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
And because Arkansas, he didn't have a place to go eat vegan food, and so he made these cookies, and they were the moist. This was the best cookies I ever had, and I said I could sell this. And so we made little packages, and I hit the River Market, and I was living in Block 2 Lost, and I just handed out cookies to everybody.
Well, like paid in full with cookies, man.
Yeah, free. Like I got red tops.
This is one of his skills.
Right.
I mean, the natural salesman.
Right. So maybe if you're in the game, or we're in the game, look how easy that sounds. Like he said, red top, blue tops as a joke, but in reality, it was the same
thing.
marketing. Give them a hit, and then they're gonna come back.
You want to 8?
Translate the skills.
Good dope sell itself.
Yeah, it does.
So I knew I had a good product. All I needed to do was put it in the mouths, paws of the people who. So after a while, I go into Boulevard Bread Company and say, "Y'all got any vegan cookies?" And they go, "Yeah, we got one." And she goes, "I said, have you ever heard of?" And she goes, "Good Ass Vegan Cookie Company." And I go, "Yeah." She said, "Do you know them?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Could you get us some?" I said, "Yeah." So we start putting them in there.
Nice.
Then we pitched to get in the River Market. Didn't have a dime.
Right.
But I did all the free stuff first. I learned how to cook. I learned
start from the bottom. You know, young people start from the bottom.
Free stuff first.
Free stuff first.
Yeah.
Because people go, "Well, I'm gonna start my business when I after I make $50,000 or $100,000.
When I get my bachelor's, or my master's."
If you out there could save $100,000 on your day job, you don't need to go into business that you're talking about. You need to go into finance.
Yeah.
That's almost impossible.
Yeah.
If you can get up to the point to where all you need is the money, then all you got to do is go find the money. But be ready for it. Don't go get the money first and then what we're going to do, next.
Oh my God.
Right. Because a lot of times people go get LLC. I didn't have LLC till like we opened, but I've already did festivals and free stuff
already set up.
Already set up.
All you gotta do is
branding was already set up. The logo, everything was
not
already
afraid
there.
to try.
Right.
So that's what we want to do with this. We want to eventually interview people in different career paths, like an administrator for the school district, that's making like, they probably ain't gonna say it on camera, but they making enough money. Kids don't understand that there are jobs that pay that, but there's a path that you have to take.
Go, right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't just abracadabra, I want this job, and it just happens.
That's how we got on TV so much after we opened.
See, one day, another thing, on TV.
Yeah, Channel 7 was Channel 4 and 7 was right across the street from the River Market.
Yeah.
And one day, I noticed it was it, and I was on my lunch. I shut down for a second. I just walked in the building with my apron on. Hey, we just opened. And from then, I probably was on each station. I did probably like 20, 30 shows.
You had a 22 long right there on the side. You'll be on TV? Yeah, you'll be on TV?
Went in and used my natural skills and talent.
This dude is very charismatic, y'all.
I come in and run my mouth and go give you, and I have a product that can't, with the only vegan place. I'm a niche because I'm black. And I'm a male, and I'm cooking, and there's 2 young black males. This is it's TV ready. Listen,
this dude can sell milk to come to dairy, y'all. I'm telling you.
that's always been kind of my skill set.
Yeah, for sure.
And, y'all come by a house.
For sure.
What?
Stick your chest out.
Yeah. So from there, unfortunately, we opened up fortunately, we had opened up in Lulav.
Oh, yep.
And then there was a rap concert. 25 people got shot at a mass shooting.
Man.
Finessed 2 times, I think it was. Yeah. Nobody died.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
25 people got shot, nobody died. So then I was just like, man, I'm tired. I was so tired.
Cause I know that PR. See, this is what they need. That PR was a nightmare.
Oh man, I pulled up to my Polo building, and every news station, CNN was in my.
CNN was there.
Man, it was national news.
Yeah, it was. I remember that.
And a bunch of brothers got locked up.
Yeah, Finesse got a couple years fast time.
That didn't have nothing to do with that, which was unfair.
Yeah, unfair, definitely.
But yeah, I got there and I couldn't get in at first. I didn't know what was going on, and then there's even news clippings. It was called it. Local restaurant gets caught in the crossfire.
Right.
My pull me standing on the chair, pulling my sign down off the building.
Right.
And you see the chair wobble. I almost fall. They got the camera in my face. Hey, how did you feeling? I said it sucks. On this, I said it sucks. I was like, but nobody got hurt, man. Everybody found out. Right, and everybody's good.
But I think the kids need to understand the aftermath, like. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know, they always see the news, but they don't see like the real. The only news only show you like a broad stroke.
Right.
And they go away in a month.
Right. And if you they understand, you have a business and they hit your business, they not gonna let you keep running.
The building
you got to wait a while before you can start.
The building shut down. The mayor shut the building down.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. The mayor, you don't have a choice.
No.
It's like you done.
So I was.
Ain't no appeal. Like, no, I don't want to do no. You can't shut. No.
I know they don't know.
Shut down.
You don't know what the after effects are going to be.
Yeah, you don't.
Sometimes.
You got to be prepared for anything, for sure.
So I was tired. I did a few odd jobs, and I said, you know what? They took the passion out of me for a second, and I fell into what I felt like also the Arkansas rut.
Right.
I reached a glass ceiling. I felt like I sucked up all the oxygen that I could get in this pond. So I took like $700 and I moved to Atlanta. Yeah. And on Megabus. On the Megabus.
Boy.
And I was crying like a baby halfway there. I was leaving all of this.
Meeting crazy people?
Well, no, I was just starting something new. And I just, if life ain't working up, shake the dice up.
I'm saying, what kind of people was on the Megabus though?
Regular people.
People.
Come on, don't talk down on the bus.
I'm not talking down on the bus.
We just talked about your car. You tried to tell me earlier with the car thing. And now you're talking about the Megabus. You on the Megabus? Have you ever rode the Megabus? Or the Greyhound?
I rode a city bus.
Have you rode the Megabus or Greyhound?
I think I rode a Greyhound.
I can't believe he just did that.
I rode a city bus.
This is your partner. This is who you were.
This is a city bus, man.
He just
interesting.
He just smoothed that in.
He sounds so condescending.
You know what I mean?
Y'all are interesting.
Like, what kind of people?
He's observing us.
What kind of people are on the Megabus?
I got this business idea, Saheem.
I got a business idea for you.
I got this business idea for you when we get to Atlanta.
You never know. I was on that bus.
Right.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But you didn't sell nothing.
They got a champion on that bus, right? They got a real, you don't know who's sitting. I was on that bus.
Exactly.
So you never know.
The
like
city
now
bus, Megabus,
I'm being interviewed by you now, but I just was on the Megabus not too long ago.
And that's what we want you to see. Right?
Exactly.
How that's what he's sharing with us today.
Right.
You know what I mean? Having his own restaurant.
Right.
To in a Megabus with going to Atlanta with $700.
Right. And I have children. And they were here, and I had to make the decision to go.
Yeah, that's tough.
What am I going to do? But I need to shake up. I need to shake my life up.
Yeah, you're a very creative person. So I mean, people don't understand how creative people are. I think that's another thing about our community too. Mm-hmm. We're so used to the blue collar workers, but you don't understand how creative people work. It's a whole nother thinking process. Right. They don't operate the same. And you got to be able to be comfortable with that. Like, dude, they don't do the same thing.
Right, and they do. Right, and
everybody not every 2 week, 9 to 5 kind of person.
You know what I'm saying? Right, and the people who have that stick to it on this, it's a skill that I wish I had. It's a skill.
Strength too.
It is definitely a strength. If I had to hire an entrepreneur over somebody who graduated college, and they were equally yoked, I'd probably hire the college graduate because I know they're going to stick to my task.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A good employee. Now, if I wanted a startup, I might go with the other person. But I get there, and then 3 days later, everything shuts down during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had an opportunity. You were going for like a job or training.
I had a little job that I had picked up, and I was just going to just kind of restart, try something new. Maybe, I was going to maybe do vegan pastries. I wanted to be like the Otis Sputmeyer of vegan food.
That would be awesome.
Well, yeah.
I can see you with the chef hat on, man.
See, he always has a plan or inspiration, you know what I mean? And the courage to pursue that, right? A lot of you have ideas in your head, but you not moving on them or not even trying.
Think about this.
You got bullets in the chamber.
The chef hat on, and since your name is a rape, you had the accent mark over the H, and that's the packaging.
Over the top,
right? Man,
Same,
boy.
Same famous.
Selling cookies, man.
Same famous. Boy. And so take them frozen to coffee shops don't have. Put some paint where it is. This is where it comes again. I'm looking at the playing field.
Simply Saheem.
And I'm going, coffee shops don't have kitchens usually. And they usually get packaged food like Starbucks.
Right.
And so they don't have vegan stuff. Yeah. So let me take in these cream cheese danishes. I even started doing Jamaican beef patties vegan and freezing them. Take them to them in those businesses, and I was shipping them to Little Rock.
Do we have a Jamaican place to do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, man, they are fire. I don't know. There might be another one. Yeah, but yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Well, what they at?
They are.
So we want to start. We want to start doing restaurant reviews too. That's one of the things we're gonna start working on.
What's Rock? The Rock City Kicks. What is that area?
Rock City Kicks over there on Chanel area, somewhere over there.
No, it's like across from Bowman down there.
Yeah, Bowman.
Yeah,
That's
Bowman, right down in there
for sure.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just making beef pat, because I see.
What going on? What going on?
But yeah, I'm about to check them out.
That's why our food star there.
Yeah.
So you in there, pastries,
and I'm just working out of my friend Kelly Wumble's kitchen. She let me use her kitchen. I rented out in the bottom of her basement. Okay. And I'm living in the basement. The job I had shut down. Nice. Can't go nowhere. I'm going to kick it to hang out at the Dollar General. Because that's the only thing that's open.
It's like that's the mall.
That's the mall. I'm at the Dollar General. And then I'm doing that for a while. And then I get a call to relocate back to Arkansas.
Pause for 1 second. This is one thing I want to say to young people. I don't think they realize, like, okay, let's say Little Rock at best, 300,000? Yeah. And that's at best, right? So going to Atlanta where it's probably triple or maybe quadruple the amount of people, the competition, right? The kind of mindset you got to have when you go to another state, right? That you ain't never. People think I'm just gonna go there and just thrive, but if you don't have that Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba kind of mindset, you get lost in the city. Because I've been in Atlanta, I was like, man, this is crazy. Right. I mean, even like you think we got a problem with homeless here. Right. Atlanta is 4 times the people that's homeless on the streets here, because it's way more people. You know what I'm saying? If you don't realize there's more people. More problems.
More problems, more competition.
Yes.
One thing good about it, though, they do have a growing black middle class. They do. Upper middle class. Right. That they're not afraid to. It's a 2-call town. If I need a food truck, I might call you. Cool. You'll say, let me call him. It's somebody that's there. Yeah. And it's there. And they're not afraid to share the information. I learned so much from black women. The black women got it going on out there. Yeah. They're getting certificates and everything, sitting at the house making $2-3 million a year in a group drinking margaritas, like just drinking margaritas, taking classes online, and then they all apply for the job together, and then 3 of them are getting there. All right, next month, what are we going to do? We're going to start this, and I'm going, okay. And then by being in a big city, you do know that there's more competition, but ain't no competition in your own lane. Right. That's a quote number 7. Ain't no competition in your own lane. Ain't no traffic in your own lane.
That's true.
So I immediately knew I got to put some paint where it ain't again. I've got to look in Atlanta. Atlanta's missing something. Right. What is it that they're missing?
Well, see, that's the thinking game. A lot of people just go there and they're not thinking. They just go there thinking it's just going to happen. Right. You got to, you know what I'm saying, have that mindset.
Even with the $700 make about you had a plan. You start slanging, cookies and pastries, immediately.
Right. Yeah. Give me a place to live, pay my first month rent, and then go from there. And like you said, it's courage.
If I had a big production company, I would see, like, if somebody, like, would they be thinking, like, homeless is easy? Like, how would they, like, like take everything away from you, drop you in the middle of like a river market and see how you fare for like a week. No house, no nothing. Just see what would you do? People think they be seeing people that's home. They be thinking, oh man, they just don't want to do nothing. Oh, no. They don't understand like the day to day of being home. It's not no easy thing.
A lot of it, and some of it is mental.
Yeah,
a lot of mental health is important.
Yeah,
some of it's a lot of drugs,
right?
Which usually starts with mental health.
Right.
But once
it's a coping mechanism.
I see people smoke crack because they smoke crack. Like after you might smoke crack, and then the next day you realize I just smoked crack. You need to smoke some more crack to get over the fact that you just smoked crack. And it's a cycle of depression.
Well, see, everybody's different though, right? Like some people have like a natural curiosity, or it's a thing like a euphoria kind of thing, and you smoke that, and it touches that button,
right?
And nothing else can touch that button. Right, and you thinking like, I want to touch that button again. Right. Especially, like they say the first time you smoke, it's like the highest you ever been in your life. Right. And they go back chasing that. You never get that again.
You got to just know what's good for you and what's not. That's
kind of like Starbucks. The first Starbucks you try is amazing, but you may go the second and third time and it's off, and you may get it again.
Right. Okay.
And then it's a certain one. I got to go to the one on University because the one over here don't make it the same.
Right. And now you might not be addicted, but you have a habit.
Yes,
you have a habit of Starbucks. I've been homeless before on my own. Mind you, any of the hard stuff I'm talking about had nothing to do with my upbringing. Right. My father works for Alcoa. My mother worked for the school district for years. She was a nurse.
Well, it's their choices, right?
Great 2-parent home. So that's not my story.
Right.
When I got out the house, they say life starts when the church ends.
Yeah.
When I got out the house, Pop say, hey, you're coming back. Don't come back here. You're either going to the military or you're going to college.
Right.
I went to Fisk University.
Right.
I was young and immature.
Right.
They let me go. Next thing I'm in Nashville. Out again. So after a while, I go, man, I know a better life, but now I'm doing all this living this other life. Now I want to go back to being comfortable again.
And that's what we want to talk to the youth about. We want them to be efficient so they don't have to go through the same stuff we went through. Right. Some stuff you're going to go through. You can't. From the hood, it's going to happen, but you don't have to make some stuff you can avoid if you want to understand the experience of somebody else, learn from our experience.
But you asked me a question. I'm going to ask y'all the same question.
Go ahead. Yeah.
What do you, because we know all kids are different.
That's true. Right?
What do you say to a kid? I feel like my sleeves are too big.
Oh,
what do you say to a child at 19, and I'm not saying 19, 20, I'm saying 16, what would you have listened to? Who could have said that to you to make you say, hey, save your money? Because the parents said it to you. TV might have said it. We're not thinking like that. Kids are not thinking like how do you
That's why we always phrase the question, what would you do for you? Like, what would you tell yourself? Because we're trying to, tell people these good things, but you're not in a mind space, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't force realization.
Right.
That's the definition of the word.
Right.
You realize when you realize. Right. Like, I can present all this information to you, but you just don't put the puzzle pieces together.
Right. You know what I mean? It can't be forced.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So that's what, we're trying to do. Like, if whatever our answers will be trying to do that. Right. I'm trying to make myself see the complete picture, but I'm too young to see it. So this is like the really ultimate hypothetical, because no matter what you do, you want to get to even you at that time. Because I was just when I was telling you, just do the basics. Just, hey, take your time and get the regular stuff out the way to be a foundation.
Right.
But I'm not gonna listen to that. Even me talking to myself, I'm not gonna listen to that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna how can I make $1 million? I want the advanced stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? So really, I don't know. Because I would tell myself do this. This is the plan. Follow this plan. You will be rich in 6 years or 10 years.
With my kids, my children, they listen to me with some reverence. So, and I try to keep an example. I'm silly. Like, anybody knows me. I'm a child at heart, but big kid. But they trust me enough to listen to what I'm saying.
Right, for sure.
At the same time, that's that kid. I'm not my kids. I was not finna listen to too much of
because your parent told you, this is computers, this is this.
Right.
And you I want to do this. You still did it. And you looking back, you said, well, my daddy was right.
Right.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And they gave me what I needed to do these things this way, but I wanted to do this.
Okay.
And you did it. You had the same advice you would say you would want to go back to give yourself.
Right.
But you still did your own thing.
I did my own thing.
So that's the conclusion I came to.
So for me, right, I think about how it was when I was younger. Weird, I can actually go back and think, but not having those examples. We talk about this on older podcasts we done. the average 9-to-5 person don't have time to come back. It's like because they got to go to work from 9 to 5, go home with family, and then it's time to go to bed, right? A lot of kids don't have that exposure. Think about this when you say you want to be a rapper. If you actually had somebody that could take you to the studio, show you how to make hooks, show you how to make bars, show you how to engineer the sound, it would have expanded your mind. It's like, you know what? I probably really can do this. Right. Think about like a lawyer. I didn't know what lawyers did. You see him on TV. You know, you saw Johnny Cochran. You know, the glove don't fit. You must have quit. Thought that was cool. But how do I be a lawyer? You know what I'm saying? Even with when I got into IT, I didn't know what I was doing. I just kind of fell into it. And I said, I got the personality. I don't let stuff get under my skin like that. And a lot of people think, like saying IT, that it's more about the machines and computers. It's really not. It's more of dealing with people too. That's actually because I'm working on this person's computer, but she really asked me to work on her computer because she don't want to do the work today. So she said, my computer not working. Right. You got to be able to recognize that though, because if it's the CEO and you go say, "Oh, your computer fine," you just don't want to work. Your job's done.
You got to pick up on the nuances of what they trying to tell you.
Exactly. So being able to have a kid and say, "Hey," being able somebody to bring you along and show you like the day-to-day stuff so you can see. Like a politician. What do it take to be a politician? I don't know.
What is it?
But when you think about a politician,
exactly.
When you go through the years of being a politician, you get, I think they say you get free healthcare for life.
Oh, crap.
We don't even think about, we don't know about stuff like that.
And that's the perk. If I said I wanted to be healthy.
You think about some of the top tier politicians on the Senate. We talk about people cheating and doing underhanded stuff, but we ain't on that side of the fence.
Right.
People think I'm going to be clean and wholesome, go into politics and change the world. It's you against 30, however many, it's you against the world pretty much. Right. Go ahead. See if you can do that.
Right. But usually it's the rule breaker.
A lot of them go in there, they go in there young, wholesome, I'm going to change the world. They come out, hair be great. You know what I'm saying? They look tired.
False view of what the world really was.
Yeah.
You should have lowered your expectations of people and how this thing is run.
And that's what we want to end up doing, like giving those kids those different exposures while they're young so you can have the time to kind of figure out what you want to do. Right. Because a lot of kids, I know from Southwest and even where you from, like Push, you got so much time.
Push down, whatever.
Yeah. You got so much
station.
You got so much time when you get out of school. You don't really focus in on nothing.
Right.
You either going outside, kicking with the homies, or you playing video games. I know I was Street Fighter 2, Sega Genesis, you know what I'm saying? You don't even look at career fields when you're that young. You don't. Right. Like, you know, who knows how to be a lawyer? Who knows what, like, you know what a doctor, you got to go to school for 8 years, but you don't understand, like, in college, it's I know I'm learning. Most people think it's all about the work. It's really about the networking and being able to understand what this person's teaching you.
Right. Yeah, and gain those skills and apply to your life.
Yeah.
So now that you got my wheels turning, I'm glad y'all. It's, I guess, like you said, pick him up and take him if he already knows what he wants. But for the kid that doesn't know what they want, go and that person is in front of you. So first of all, if you want to take this goal onto yourself with your children. Right. Be an example and walk in front of many kids as possible.
Right.
And so we want firemen to walk past, plumbers to walk past, politicians to walk past. So they might like your swag and go, do they say swag still? They might like the way of doing things and go, I want to be like him, right? And what do you do type of thing.
And that's the next step, right?
The curiosity leads to motivation.
Right. Correct. Start when you're 18. Go ahead and start young, taking that test. So if you don't pass the first time, you can go back and get that done. Because it's a cutoff. Right. In some of those vocations, when you're a certain age, you can't do it no more. So a lot of times, you figure out what you're doing. You're 25, and the cutoff might be 27. And you might not pass that first test.
But what kid is so structured enough to start
that. That's what I'm saying. You got to give them the game. A lot of times, kids, I can't say you can reach everybody, but you can at least give them a chance.
And they can start like.
Now, everybody don't want to be reached. I understand that too, but I can at least give you a chance to understand what you up against. You see what I'm saying? And if you don't want to do it, you can't say nobody didn't tell you. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I can give you all the information, but you got to execute. Right. I can give you the basketball, but you got to shoot in the basket. You know what I'm saying?
Like we were talking earlier about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was saying that the hero in that book to me was the poor dad.
Right.
Because he had enough sense and humbled himself and enough love for his son to go, yeah, you should go talk to that other. You know what? I mean, damn, I go tell my son to go talk to somebody.
That man's better than me, or that man.
Right.
I can teach you love, but then he can teach you something else.
You this, and I said that is the hero. Of that.
Yeah, I heard a dude. I think it was on YouTube. It was a reel going around. He said, I think it was a pastor, YPJ. I think that was his name. He said most men fail in life not because of success, but because of their ego. They don't want to ask questions. Right. And I was like, that's deep, man. That's
and
deep,
that being said, I can't answer the questions for you, son. Seek knowledge outside of me.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's a big step.
That ain't God like right there.
And
that's
it's like,
that's
as a man.
Yeah.
As a man to go, I want better for my kids. Let me not go, I can tell you how to do it. And maybe you can, but if that's what it is, then... And that's the first thing I learned is to humble myself.
Even accountants, like, man, I didn't know about this when we was young. Accountant? Right. What's an accountant? You know what I'm saying? But that's a good paying field. People don't realize that. Right. That's a good paying field.
But it's a normal job, too. Like,
but the question, like you said, what is an accountant? What are they accountant? Who do they work for? Right. I mean, I know now.
Right.
But it's such a broad term, and it goes, what is an accountant? But if you like numbers and math.
Definitely.
So start with what you like. And then find a way to monetize it.
When you bring kids in, as us being older, you can identify different kids. Like, okay, I see that you good with numbers. Let's sit you down and talk about accounting. We need to make a plan for you.
Right.
Don't veer from it. Stay on the plan.
And just because it's easy to you, like math and stuff, don't mean it's wrong. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Like, I'm going to need to stay away from it. You know what I mean? Like you were saying with the art. You know what I mean? You struggling in math and you doing good
in art.
And good in art, and you take him out of the art class to focus on math. You know what I mean? Hey. Art teaches you. Let's like kind of feed that a little bit. You know what I mean? We're gonna work on your math.
Right. Get the basics.
But you can, you know what I mean?
Right.
Do that. So, but this another thing of the focus, you know, of the podcast and things like that.
So with Shiem, right? Shiem. What's the most? What do you think is the most slept on skill that people don't realize in real estate, like that you probably need to have? Because people see these videos, they see like these Grant Cardone. Dude, you doing my masterclass, man. You need the 10X, man. But
I don't want to make this racy. But here we go. Here we go. It takes some hustle. It takes being able to deal with different people.
Yes.
But I am not a person that says it ain't who you know, it's what you know. Right. No, it's what you know. Like you said earlier.
Definitely.
We might know somebody, but if you don't know what to do with them, if you know a billionaire and you ask them for money up front, you didn't know what to do with the billionaire.
No,
you don't ask billionaires for money.
No,
you wait on them to ask you.
Yes,
and then
I want the information. I don't want the money. I want to know how you got there.
Right, and then I'll make myself valuable enough for us to work together.
Exactly.
But I think in this town, in the South, a lot of times, it is kind of a whore you know game. Yeah. But you don't know who you know. And I put it like this. A lot of, we're talking about land and property.
Right.
Well, who's got the majority of the land and property in the South?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Who owns things, right?
Right.
So being able to break into those markets without having our middle class, upper middle class owning things and then offering it to us. So who has property? Who owns houses in our community?
That's why we made a podcast called Apples and Oranges instead of saying race. Apples and Oranges. Okay. The oranges own all the property.
Right.
The oranges are trying to get there,
that's
right?
What I'm saying. And I don't want to make it racy, but
it's real. That's real though.
It's real. It's like, you know, if I first of all, when you get in real estate, you might not make a sale for the first 3 to 6 months.
See, they need to know that, right?
You might not make a sale. Some agents have you brokers have you cold calling. You might be knocking on doors. Well, I was uncomfortable knocking on doors. I just seen what happened in Georgia. I'm knocking on somebody's door. Right. That's pretty much out for me as far as I'm concerned. I'm not above that.
Right.
I'm not above that at all.
I understand that, but I understand.
But I'm saying me walking through neighborhoods it's not for me.
Right.
Who has enough property that I know or who has enough capital to buy properties to be an investor for me? But don't let that stop you because you'd be surprised. That uncle that you got at the whatchamacallit, he owned you own property.
Right.
Right? So then this is misconception though, right? Still. Right. Because who in our community own property? Well, this man owns property. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. So your uncle might have, well, you know, your grandma left me an acre down there.
I got a video how to buy land from the commissioner of lands. I got a video on that.
Y'all too, check that out.
Yeah, for sure. And so I think too, like you think about the paperwork. Do you think that's understanding the paperwork and your numbers and stuff? Make sure you don't get screwed over.
The numbers are that's what we do.
That's pretty solid.
So what we do is we make sure, like you wouldn't go to court without a lawyer.
Definitely.
So we make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. So nobody gets screwed.
So y'all don't got no public defender, like
we are your defender. You know what I mean? We're gonna get paid.
I'm talking about the real estate agent to make sure that you get your stuff.
Yeah, we make sure that they.
Cool.
Will we get our stuff? Oh, we don't make sure because it's all in contracts.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Most people, young people, they got to read the contract, make sure at least understand what it means, so you can skim through it.
But don't be afraid of it. When we say paperwork,
don't be afraid of it.
When we say paperwork and contracts, I'm saying I might have to. I don't have to memorize everything, but I know what these words mean.
You know what the important stuff
is.
Exactly.
And you can summarize and break it down, because I have that much knowledge of what I'm doing.
When somebody's been in the game for a while, you can tell they just skimming through the important parts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't read you the whole thing. They just take you through the important parts.
When they're gonna hand you a copy,
for sure.
Hand them a copy so they can read it themselves.
Yes.
But and we say initial here, sign here, but
you can't read a contract, but like you can read a book. You know what I mean? The romance office start to finish, and you can't read a 3-page contract for understanding.
But those contracts are not these all contracts are written in languages that you might need to know the nuance.
Yes.
Because who's the buyer, who's the seller, or who's the leasee and the leasor. And
they say if you want to hide it from an apple, put it in the book. In the contract.
So, but that stuff is so easy.
It is.
It really is.
You just got to sit down and do it. Discipline.
Finding the people with the capital in our community and finding the people who are willing to take a chance on one of us.
Yes.
Is difficult. Now we don't have to sell in all our community at all, but I think that is one of the things that I would. They call it spirit of influence in real estate. You're going to have to get out there and meet some people. I've been lucky enough to have some investors that I work exclusively with.
What do you think about this too? We telling young people, and I forgot, I don't even know what number this was, but aesthetic definitely can be an advantage. Having the aesthetic when you in sales and marketing stuff like that. Huh?
Poquito,
yeah.
It depends because your value. Let your reputation speak for you.
Before the people get to your reputation, they see you. And if you...
sometimes your reputation precedes.
Right.
I'll tell you a story. Here we go.
Go ahead.
He cut me off earlier. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Saheem. Saeem.
We went over this like a lot.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
No problem, brother. So,
peace to the guys.
Peace to the guys. Peace to the guys. Right. Oh, you know that. How many was I about to say? Because you just hit on the point. It was about the. I was going to say about. The restaurant. I remember a lady coming and saying she had a festival and she wanted us to cater the festival, and I go, well, yeah, sure. We won't pay the fee if you promote for us, because they were like, we want you there. You won't have to pay our fee.
Yeah.
And then if you put us on your flyers and stuff, then we'll do it for free.
Right.
And so I'm at home and I get an email from our email that day, and a lady saying, I get an email and a lady saying, hi, I spoke to Shiem Swift today. He's a charming young man. He said it'll be okay if we did a deal with you guys to cater our event.
Right.
I typed back, yes, Shiem is the greatest. We think we can work. This woman had no idea who I was. You know how many real estate deals I've done and hadn't seen the person at all?
Right. But well, I guess what I'm saying is too, along with that though, when you walk in the room, I don't know, man, I'm arrogant, I don't know, but when you walk in the room and they see you and they hold like, wait a minute, I didn't think this was gonna be like this. Yeah. Like I've been in interviews, like they probably weren't even thinking about me, and I walk in the room and they're like, wait a minute, I didn't know this guy was gonna be like
Present
this.
yourself in the way you want people to see.
Because I didn't wear suits when I was younger, but I understood as I got older the value of having like that aesthetic value. I
still only own one suit.
I own many, but I know how to get them for the love.
But it is it would suit you. So, for instance, in real estate, one of the rules is you don't dress better than your client.
I understand.
So if I'm working with a farmer, I probably won't wear a suit.
No, they
now, if I'm working with a client and I got $2-3 million on the table, I mean,
that's the thing, Paul. You gotta know how to play the game.
The game.
Like if I'm with a farmer, I'm probably gonna have a Carhartt jacket. You know what I'm saying?
But you might have. They used to tell us.
For sure.
Tattoos with them, because I heard it all. Tattoos on the face will work. You got to see white CEOs with tattoos on the face.
Oh, definitely.
I'm seeing the rules being changed every single day. So
for sure.
Be yourself. Don't be no fool. Right, don't come in there looking crazy, smelling crazy or whatever. But sometimes if you show up wearing Vans, that might get you the deal versus somebody wearing shoes because you saw your client earlier and they had their hand tatted.
Right. Yeah,
I'm so manipulative. I'll play a music that I think they like as I'm pulling up,
right?
And it sparked the conversation.
Yeah, because I was building websites one time. I had to build a website for the school project, and the woman just glanced down at my socks. I had on some Sesame Street socks on with my students. What kind of socks are those?
Right.
I'm just saying little stuff just like that.
Things
know how to get in people's heads. You know what I'm saying?
Getting people's heads.
People don't realize an interview, you really, if you know how to dominate an interview, you can get in people's head and change. And it turns into a conversation. Not even, like we talking now. It's not even an interview.
But that's how you get the most information. Right. Just a normal conversation. Yep. The flow of the person, how they will fit into your company.
If you really cold-blooded about this game, you get on Facebook and look them up. I remember there was a lady one time at another job that I wanted to get.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to the interview. I knew her name. I looked her up. I see that she liked animals.
Smart.
And then so when I went in the thing, I made up a story about a dog that I saw the other day. And she goes, "Oh yeah, really?" And then next thing you know,
people don't do this.
No, people do this. Right. I'm not stalking them. I'm not going by.
No.
But I'm going.
You're playing the game.
And then so next thing you know, I'm in the kitchen cooking for a restaurant because I was going to do the job, and I'm genuine about it. She didn't know she hired a good employee in that sense. But I wanted the job enough to do some research on who I'm about to talk to. Because this whole game is really a social experiment. My whole life is getting people out of my way. No. But reality, what's the quickest thing that could kill you on Earth? Is it oxygen? Is it water? Lack of air? Or is it people?
People.
Or hating apple, hating Negro.
Us next to each other right now. You could do me in than anyone.
Yeah. That's what people are scared of.
So maneuvering through people. That's why books like 48 Laws of Power in them are so powerful. Because they're really sadly about manipulation. But
definitely.
Moving people out of your way or getting them to do, but don't do nobody dirty.
Because you can win without
doing them dirty.
And then you think about this. What's sad sometimes is disheartening. The more you move up, the less of people that's around that you see.
Right.
So you gotta know how to deal with people that's not like you.
Right.
So you see less and less.
Less and less. Man. And it gets
the language change. The lingo change.
Living it now, man.
You go from eating at McDonald's. Now we're going to Sonny Williams for lunch, man. You know what I'm saying?
Some of the places you go, like you might go to, say, Ruth Chris just to eat on a regular.
Yeah.
And say you're going on a date. And you go to where you normally go, and people think that you're stunting or trying to take them out. But no, this is what you eat on Friday. You're not trying to spend a lot of money.
Exactly.
You eat pizza too.
That's affordable.
I take a vacation and
because I wanted to eat what I wanted to eat, and I'm taking you with me. This is my life, and you're accompanying me. I'm not living life for you.
That's it.
I'm doing me with you. You know what I mean?
When you're gone, I probably will do. I'm doing the same thing. I travel alone. You know what I mean? The same thing. So if you come travel with me, then
you think like, oh, you laying out the red carpet for me. This just me doing.
But I do like you.
Yeah, I mean
enough to have you around. But man, we went way somewhere else. We right there.
Yeah, but no, like so. Let's get back into it. No, like so. The podcast, the thing, and I want to do this before we leave. The in and out. You know what I mean? Because we talking about hustle, determination, motivation, courage to take the step forward, making the choices.
Right.
But like the process, how did you get into it? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe like step by step, summarize. How did you get into it? How did you get your license and things like that? You know what I mean?
I was working for a staging business. I got called to come back to decorate houses. So my main job is staging by Ann. Y'all look us up. We right now our special is $1.50 square foot. We'll stage your house, we'll make it look beautiful, and get it on the market to get sold.
We have to do a video on that, man.
Yeah, we come through and see some of my work.
See, like step by step, this is something you could do, or how you get him. To
I kept my ear to what was going on. So working in that field, I got to see a lot of agents and hear a lot of agents, and some of the people I'm working for, I heard they might need an agent, or I saw that that's the business they were in. So I went and took the class on my own, and then I passed the test, and then I just popped up with the license and go, hey, I got a license. And said,
I can do that. So what is the name of the class or the test?
Oh, okay. So I went to Mid-South Real Estate School in North Little Rock. Yeah. And I went 2 days out of the weekend for 3 weeks. So I started in December, and I was done by Christmas. It was a Christmas present to myself. Okay. And so once I passed the class, you have to clock the hours. So it's like driving hours or flying hours. It's not a test, but you have to have that many hours. Yeah. Got the hours. You got like 6 months to take the test. Yeah. I learned a lot from the class, but I didn't retain it. So I got a app, Prep Agent, is awesome.
Right.
I listen to it, and my homeboys come over. People come over. They hear me listening to this thing in the morning and afternoons.
Right.
I'm listening to it. I went to Hawaii, studied for the test, came back, passed the test.
Nice.
And so it was just that. Whatever it takes, by any means necessary.
By any means
like if
necessary,
you want it.
You want it. 3 weeks. He didn't say, 3 years.
Right.
3 weeks. He was in the class. It wasn't really his learning style.
Right.
So he found something to help him learn and to get over the curve.
Right.
Listening was good for him. So he got the app, and then he passed his class.
Yeah, you should translate for me. You have the best way of saying what I was.
This dude sold more dreams than McDonald's sold burgers, bro.
Yeah.
This dude
he puts
dreams.
what I'd say in a
this
tight
dude,
box. I'm starting doing like this.
When we talking about some of the dreams this dude sold,
we'll go after it if you really want it. I've done a lot more for less.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
and that was the start. Like he started, staging. The first step, he took the class. He did. He got certified, right?
Or you just get a certificate for the class. Right, wait for getting through the class, and you have to have that to be able to take the test.
All right.
And then you take the test, and then after that, you sign on with a brokerage. And usually the brokerages will come to the class.
Oh, nice.
And want to and the
you like the draft, right?
And remember, you're interviewing them; they're not interviewing you.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Because they're gonna make money off of you before you make money off of them. Day one, you're gonna pay some fees and some things to the commissions and stuff like that. But don't let that stop you.
No, that's part of the game.
Because you bust your first $20,000 check.
So now he's certified.
Right.
Now he's certified. He's not just staging anymore, and he's using the staging to network to get these opportunities.
Right.
All right.
What's the percentages now? Is it still 5 or is it more than that for?
The standard is usually 6%.
6%, okay.
And 3% go to the usually 3.6%.
So most agents, you make the money off. You got to sell more houses. And the percentage just compounds. Right?
Depends.
It depends. Okay.
For me, I didn't sell as I sold more higher price.
Oh, right. So the percent, definitely.
So versus
regular mid.
My grandmother's house was about $80,000.
Right.
I sold a vacant lot last year. I mean, a lot smaller than where we're sitting. Literally.
Yeah.
$500,000.
Yeah, go flex. Yeah, go flex. Shaheed. Nice.
But not to say that, but that was the niche in that. Yeah. So if you don't have those connections, if you don't have people with land and property, find and we got my guy at People's Trust, Arlo Washington. You go holler at him.
Man, hit him up, man. Tell him,
we're gonna go down there and holler at him, man.
We're gonna holler at him,
there's enough of us that can put together.
Oh, definitely.
5,000 here, 5,000 here, 5,000.
We're gonna make a media company before it's said and done. We're gonna make a media company
all the way around.
Yeah,
puppets and everything.
Yeah. And we do it all ourselves.
No, we want to get kids, man. To talk to people that's from where they from, man, and let them know that you can be successful.
And talk to them where they're
and not skip steps. I mean, we know we throwing around a lot of terms, brokers, agents. Like, okay, you're staging. Okay. Like, what is an agent?
An agent is when you do a deal in a real estate transaction.
Right.
That deal is with a brokerage.
Right.
So I'm with Melissa Bond at United Realty, United Central Arkansas.
Right.
When you do a deal, your deal is with them. I am an agent acting for her.
Right.
Exactly. So any liabilities and all of that are taken up by her. So if I do some crap, then it's on her and it's on her to do. But I'm 1099 as a contracted through her. So I'm representing her. Right. And so I'm the agent that you would meet.
Okay. Before we go deep, we probably gonna have to start wrap up because we're way over that thing the hour. So, but. Let us know in the comment if you want to hear more about real estate, because we can do something just about real estate. You can just chop it up.
Right.
Yeah. The process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can do it. You can do it. And he can show you like the general
he can flex
steps.
for real. He can go ahead and come on here and flex. So he being humble right now.
Once you get through it, and you got enough to take that test, you can find the money. Anyway, money's last thing.
Right.
Do all the free stuff first. Go take the test. Go pass the test, and then go find you somebody with some cash, or go save up some money, and that's the hard part is done.
And you notice he didn't say flex and none of that.
And tax time's coming up. You know what I mean? Invest in when your income tax, invest in yourself.
Right.
So how much was this class?
$175.
$175. You know what I mean? You getting $7,000 in taxes.
Right.
3 weeks, $175.
How much you pay for your property?
It was 11 years ago. I think it was like 110, something like that.
Okay.
Like 110.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
110,000.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay.
But it's up now though.
Right.
And they've been in new school. So it's up now.
Well, I thought you was gonna say something less, but there are properties out here for like 5,000, 4,000.
Exactly. I mean, he's got some of those properties too. Like you bought that one with the little shop on it.
The other one. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about the man. The one down in there's just land.
Right.
Yeah, I think I pay like with everything fees like $1,200.
$1,200.
Yeah,
so like you
nice
said, for the price of your income tax return, a stimulus check,
property,
and your agent now. And we're talking.
Because I didn't have an agent. I didn't go through an agent.
Well, I'm saying
you can be an agent.
Right.
$175.
Right.
3 weeks of your time, a little studying. You can be an agent. $1,500. You can be a property owner.
Right.
Right.
That's you.
Right.
That's you.
Then here it is in March. You're a property owner with a real estate license.
Right.
That easy.
And we're gonna wrap it up right there, guys.
Hey.
Let us know if you want us to hear Boom About Real Estate.
One more time.
Doom 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 da da. Doom 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 da da.
I'm sorry. Vocals ain't my thing.
He can sell notes though.
But on socials, look me up, Shiem Swift, Shiem Swift, SWIFT. My number is 501-838-3634.
I'm gonna put that on the screen too. For sure. No, you can say it too. I'm gonna put it on the screen too though. So yeah, guys, we're about to sign out, man. And thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe.
It's been a pleasure, brothers.
Think Game Podcast. You come back if you want, man.
I'm sitting right here.
Just let us know,
I'll
man.
come back.
Huh?
I'll be right here.
You gonna be right here?
Come back next week. I'll be right here.
You gonna be right here?
Ready.
So
this is the office.
Right. Well, thank you guys, man. It's great. I love watching y'all.
No problem, man.
It's
Appreciate
awesome
it.
what y'all doing, man. Keep it rolling. Man.
Yeah, man. We gonna keep it rolling, man. We like Diddy, man. We ain't gonna stop, man.
Bad
Take
boy.
that.
All right, guys. We signing out. Peace.
Peace.